And welcome to the Factor Off the Clock. And we have with us Andy Kahan, who's head of Crime Stoppers here in the city of Houston. Andy, another body has been found in the Bayou system here in Houston, this time up north near 45. We're told likely by Cypress Creek. We're still waiting on the specific location of what body of water it was found in, but it is a bayou. People have been concerned, Andy, about these bodies turning up. I think this is a second this year.
Yeah.
We had a gentleman who was found in the bayou earlier in January, and we'll be doing a special report on Fox to talk about that and the fact. And we talked to his family and his mother, and they're troubled with all of these findings, more than 30 bodies in 2025. So, your thoughts about this latest find? What do we know about it, first of all?
We don't know anything, really. We don't know. Obviously, we don't know what happened. There's no evidence. There's no form, there's nothing that links this to the quote serial Bayou serial killer that everybody's going around promoting on this. So, in a lot of the cases in which the bodies have been found, there hasn't been any definitive answers regarding their cause of death or if there's anything that resulted of criminal conduct. And again, I get the public's clamor wanting this to be some sort of Bayou serial killer. But if you go as a student, as someone who has studied serial killers for decades, drowning is so very rarely used, if ever, as a means for a serial killer to kill their victim. First of all, it's extremely difficult to actually drown a victim. Victims
Mhm.
generally fight back. They make noise in the water. It takes more than a few minutes. Serial killers need privacy, they need secrecy, and they don't generally commit their acts if someone could be just magically walking by out in the open. So I understand where everybody's coming from, and at the same time, I would find it extremely difficult to believe that a serial killer is causing all these deaths.
Now, when you say a serial killer, and I'm just humoring myself and the viewers out there, you said the serial killer doesn't typically use water or drowning as a method of killing someone. But what if there was another mode or method that they killed the person and just threw them in the water? Because we're not getting definitive answers from the medical examiner's office because they're saying because of time, because of bloating, the water. The cause of death is undetermined. So maybe that helps a serial killer.
Not really, because if you're going to actually throw somebody in water, that creates noise and a sound, and
Mhm.
splash could actually attract someone that might be walking by or hear that type of noise, and then so it puts you in a very awkward spot if you are a wannabe serial killer because you're out in the open. The serial killers that have used drownings, it's usually been in a bathtub. There's privacy. No one's going to walk in on you. So again, I understand the clamor, but drowning is not a method that a serial killer is going to use. In addition, because like you said, Isaiah, there's no evidence. Nobody's talking, serial killers want they want someone to know what they've done. And right now, it's just speculation. Serial killers have huge egos. I mean, trust me, they read the news, and the majority of serial killers keep up with their track record, their numbers of death. And if they're not getting any credit, you know, it's not worth their while. A great example was BTK in Kansas, behind torture kill. He got away with murdering over 10 people for over 30 years, but he didn't get credit and he wanted credit for that. And that's the only reason he got caught was because he sent cryptic notes to a news station talking about the case. But if he hadn't have done that, he would have likely gotten away with it, but nobody would have known who he was. Now everybody knows who Dennis Radar is, the BTK killer.
Because he wanted his damn
He
credit,
wanted
Andy.
recognition and absolutely he wanted his moment of fame. So you're not getting any fame because there hasn't been any evidence. connecting all these deaths to a serial killer. A serial killer generally are narcissistic egomaniacs
Mhm.
that want the attention, and you're not getting anything on this.
And Andy, this is right. Am I correct in saying this is the second body this year,
Correct. You
besides
are
the
correct.
one White
Yeah.
Oak Bayou near Buffalo Bayou downtown? And we'll have
Yeah.
that family coming on the Factor pretty soon. And now this one on the north end of town, which would be Cypress Creek area, Cypress Creek, and just off of 45. So that is the latest. There is no serial killer, right, Andy? That's what you're
No,
telling us.
there's not. I'm sorry to bust everybody's chops, and I get it. You want there to be a serial killer, but really, you don't want there to be a serial killer.
Right, right. And of course there are families out there suffering.
And
And I sat
my
down with
heart goes out to all of them, and they deserve answers, and hopefully they'll get
absolutely.
them.
All right, Andy Kahn with Houston's Crime Stoppers. Thank you for joining us here on the
You
Factor
bet.
Uncensored Off the Clock.